All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming out. Everybody that came out tonight. Thank you for everybody at home watching online. We really appreciate it. Um, this is something really special that we wanted to do. Obviously, if anybody that's known the collective, have followed the collective over the years, Kim Plainfield was a very, very big part of the collective. He started teaching in 1979 at the school and did a lot to create the programs that we currently have. He was a very, very hardworking musician, and the talent that he had was pretty much, I guess you can't really say it was untouchable. He did things that no one else could do. The way the man played the drums was just an absolutely always a musical masterpiece every time he picked up a drumstick. I became really good friends with him, very close with him over the years. We just had an opportunity to bond, from everything over music to sports to just general life. And he became somebody that was, I looked forward to on a daily, weekly, monthly, hourly basis of having him around. So 2017, when he passed away, it was a very tragic thing for all of us. But one of the things I always wanted to do was honor him and keep his memory alive as part of the collective and drummers collective, because he was someone who I think, and I think we all believe, molded what the school became to be. So now we've moved into a new facility down here in Lower Manhattan at 28 Broadway. And unfortunately, Kim never had an opportunity to teach here or actually come here, but he was part of the original idea and the inception of everything. He did actually visit the place before we put the walls up, and he gave it his blessing. So that was a big thing. And I can always feel him. He's always part of the school. His drum set is in the other room, so he's definitely there at times playing it. I can feel it. Tonight we have a very special guest here who was a student of Kim's, is Mr. Péter Szendőfi. And for me, I consider him to be one of the only people that can actually play the material that Kim wrote. Play it to a T, play it accurate, exactly like he wrote it, played it. And so we thought this would be a great idea, a great way to have a tribute for Kim 6 years later after he left us, and just honor him and who he is. So I hope everybody enjoys everything. Please understand that there's a lot of material that Péter has studied over the years, and he's going to give everybody everything he can. Ask some questions if you have any in the chat, and please enjoy the clinic, and please give a warm welcome to Mr. Péter Szendőfi.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you, everyone. That's a great pleasure to be here, and also a huge honor to be the man who can a little bit talk about Kim's stuff. I've been here at the collective first in 1995 as a student, and I took several private lessons from Kim, and we went through a really massive material from his global system, which helped me a lot. And I'm sure that if I wouldn't be his student, I would be totally another person as a person and also as a musician. So I got a lot of great things from him, and I'd like to demonstrate a couple of things from his massive material that he shared with me. So first of all, let me play for you something. Then I will talk about and demonstrate several things about Kim's stuff, and also I have some nice stories with him from 1995 and also from later as well. So the thing which I will play, the first half would be an improvised drum solo, and the second half is a tune which called the Trip to Cali, which is influenced by a California trip, and it contains a lot of 6/8 and 12/8 things. Kim really loved to play in 3/4 time signature or 6/8 time signature or 12/8 time signature, and he made a big impact on me to creating different accents, feels huge, to use the huge dynamic level on the drum set. I had a chance several times at the Drummers Collective to check his stuff in live, and at the first time when I heard him playing, I was totally shocked. Like, he used much wider dynamic range that I used at that time. So the highest level were somewhere here, and the lowest was like a tiny little, just like a couple of millimeters from the surface, and like this, his stuff was very, very powerful. So I tried to practice and do the same thing in my stuff. So let me play for you first something, and then I will talk about his system. So, okay. Thank you very much. So, as I said before, I have a huge influence from Kim. So he was made a big impact on me since 1995, and I'm lucky enough to say that that then years later we became great friends as well, and we spent a lot of time together. I went several times here to his house, and we had great conversations about music, about teaching, about everything. So that's a huge gift for me. And let me tell you a story from the very beginning. When I joined the collective, that was in 1995, and you know, if you are a student of the collective, they had at that time a 10-week certificate program, which means like you have different classes and lessons from different teachers, but you can choose in every week the teacher who you want to take a private lesson with. And in the first week, I had a private lesson with Michael Lauren, and the second week I had a private lesson with I think with Zach Danziger. He's also a great drummer, and we plan to do another private lesson on the third week, because we started to work on some 6/8 time signature grooves in linear approach, and we haven't finished that yet. But during the third week, Zach was not available because he went out touring with Chuck Loeb, the guitar player, and someone from the collective, I think there was Michael Crashes, who was the admissions director of the collective. He mentioned to me, like, Peter, you should check Kim Plainfield. I've never met him before, but I saw his face on his book. It's called Advanced Concept. And I was afraid because he has a kind of strict face on his book, like this. And I thought first, like he's gonna kill me if I make a mistake. So I won't do it. Maybe later. And then Michael Crashes said to me again, like Peter, I definitely recommend you to check him out. You will see that's gonna be great. And I said okay. And when I met with Kim first, I entered the room, and he checked my stuff in terms of the hand technique and foot technique, hand-foot combinations, technical stuff during like 10-15 minutes. And then he said like, okay, you can play good. You have good hands and feet. Let's play together. Some of you may not know, but Kim Plainfield was also not only a great drummer, but a great piano player and a great composer as well. So he picked one of his original tunes. We had a Fender Rhodes in the drum room. So he sat behind the Fender Rhodes, gave me the chart, and mentioned me to play together. And at that time, I was a quite good reader because of my classical music background. I graduated in a classical music conservatory, and like this, I had to read a lot of drum charts during 4 or 5 years, and so I was quite good reader. But the song which Kim picked, that was really complicated. I mean, there was an A part, B part, C part, D part, E part. There was a 5/7, 5/8, 7/8 time signature changing. There was a drum solo, which was a 5-bar phrase with different syncopated accents. Then first ending, second ending, third ending, back to the top. Then jump down to the arranger's coda. So there was like a big mess on a chart. So we got through the whole piece. I was sweating. I tried to figure out the things, and when we finished, Kim said like, "Okay, you sounds great. You made 2 mistakes," and I said, "Okay, I made two mistakes, but that was the first time for me when I checked this chart, and it's very difficult. And he said, "So what?" And I was okay, but and then he mentioned it's not possible to make mistake, because if you are in the studio, you have no choice to practice a song before. Most of the times you get the chart, and red light is on, and you have to be able to play it with no mistakes. Plus, you have to be able to play great grooves with great fills and great chops and everything. And then I asked him to suggest me some exercises about how to develop this kind of skills. Like when I read the chart for the first time, how can I develop these things? Like how can I play at the same time great grooves and fills and everything? Because in my home country, in Hungary, this is a small country, and we had no option to practice this kind of things, because we had no like a studio musicians who spent 7 days a week in a studio with different projects, and they have a huge experience and routine in these things. I had no this kind of things, and in my home country it was not possible to pick up this kind of things. And then during like 6-7 minutes, he wrote these 2 pages. This is the original that you can see, handwritten by Kim. I saved it. It's from 1995. So this is a 5 steps method where he put down like what kind of things can I practice from his room, and also from Gary Chester's New Breed book, to combine the strict material things with the improvisation, to be able to play different fills, improvised fills in between the accents that we have to play out. So I'd like to demonstrate a little bit for you this 5 steps method from one page of Kim's book. Is this one? It's called 16 note source groups of 1. This is the page. It's very similar than the Gary Chester's New Breed. Do you know Gary Chester's New Breed book? Yes. This is also a dedicated thing. That's a similar. I mean, the page is a very similar concept, but this 5 steps method means for me a lot. I practiced it during many years, and helped me a lot. So I truly recommend you to check this out, because this is a very special way, very individual, and it's I think it's unbelievable. Like he figured it out in his head, like during 6-7 minutes, and just put it down, and this is a global method. Like how can we practice this kind of things when we see a chart like this, when you see only the rhythms, so no kick drum part or hi-hat or fills or everything. These are accents, and you have to do different things with these accents. You can use it as an accent of a drum solo. You can use it as a bass line for different styles of music. You can use it as some accents that you can share in between the hi-hat, the snare drum, and the kick drum, and you can fill in the rest with 16 notes or whatever you want. So this page, I think, do you have this one? So you should find there somewhere many copies from this, if you have a chance to get out. I think on this board you can find it. So this is a whole page with different rhythms, and the first, as you can, and you also can find the copies from Kim's handwritten things. If you check it out, that's going to be help. Okay, so the first step that he mentioned is about this page. Like play the 2/4 backbeats notation between the bass drum and the hi-hat, and subtle execution of ensemble figures, which means like we can try to fill in the rests in between the accents with different like ghost notes or extra hi-hat notes, extra kick drum or snare drum notes, but we have to be able to keep the same rhythm as it's written. So it sounds like this. I play it a bit slower tempo, like 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. That was the first 4 line, which was the first half of this page. The second one, which he mentioned, the B part of the step 1 is to creating a drum part and use it as a bass line. Like this, we have much more freedom, and we can do many different things. Depends on what kind of music that we play with this page. Let's say like that's gonna be a funk thing. So I will keep the 2/4 backbeats on the snare drum, and I will share the rhythms between the kick drum and the hi-hat just like before. But I will do it in more like a funk feel. So I will do a little bit more ensemble figures. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that was the whole page. This is actually a bit easier for me than the previous one, because like this I have much more freedom, and it's sometimes to keep the groove and the 16-note oriented rhythms. It's much easier if I fill in the rest with 16 notes, because if I keep longer breaks, like it's much more difficult for me because I have to hear inside the other 16 note. I mean, I have to hear inside the grid, like 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E. Otherwise, I'm gonna shaking the tempo and this kind of a groove feel. Okay, the second step, if you watch at the page, it says like departure from steady 2 for backbeats, and play the notation using more intensive ensemble figures. So we can now we can play the accents in between the hi-hat and the snare drum and the kick drum. So we can leave the 2/4 backbeats, which could be tricky because it's sounding more like a fusion music, more like a linear fusion stuff, which was one of the most favorite musical style of Kim, actually. So also he mentioned me many recordings, and his stuff was a nice mixture, a nice cuvée, if I can say this word, of Brazilian music, Afro-Cuban fusion. I mean the modern fusion, the early funk, Motown music. So there was a very special thing. The same was about his compositions and arrangements. So there was a very special, and his stuff was very full with energy. So that was amazing for me always to check him playing live. So that was amazing. Okay, so jump back to the step number 2. So I try to do the same with the page, but now I will leave the 2/4 backbeats, and I will share the accents between the hi-hat, the snare drum, and the kick drum, and I have to be able to fill in the rest with different things, which are improvisation, of course. Let me play it a bit slower first, like 1. Right? Makes sense. So that was more difficult because I have to combine more improvisation and less strict material things from the page. Let me play it a bit faster when it's gonna be sounding a bit more groovy. It has a much more drive like this. I mean. 1, 2, 3, 4. right? So like this, it sounds much better, but it's a bigger challenge because when we speed up the tempo, we have less time in between the downbeats. So my brain has to speed up as well, not only the hands and the feet, right? Any questions so far about this method? Yes.
How you choose which note to play on bass or snare?
This is improvised. So when we started to practice these things with Kim first, he mentioned me to play like only the first line and repeat it, because we have to be well prepared to be able to play exactly the 16 notes with a click track and slow tempo, because we have to figure out like which notes will be played where, on a hi-hat, on a snare drum, or a kick drum. So that's why he mentioned like that's also fine if you practice it just like a two-bar phrase and then a two-bar phrase and then a two-bar phrase and then you start to combine it. So if I just repeat the first two bars from the first line, it sounds like 1, 2, 3. Like this, you have just a two-bar phrase, which is much easier to handle because you can see the whole syncopated rhythm in 2 bars. So it's not necessary to read all notes, because if you repeat it like 2-3 times, you will remember it. But when you have to play the whole page, this is very, very difficult because you have to read constantly. So that's why he mentioned to work on it like step by step, like 2-bar phrase, then the next 2-bar phrase, and then combine it. And if you finish the first line and you are able to figure out like where you want to play it, and you can change it. Sometimes you play the first and 2 accents on a hi-hat, and then on a snare drum, then on a kick drum. If you finish the first line, you can do the same thing with the second line. If you finish the second line, you can combine the first and the second. Then you can jump down to the third line with the same system. And if you start to practice it like combining these improvised 16 notes oriented, sometimes linear, sometimes like a semi-linear stuff with these accents, all the rest of the lines would be much easier, because this is a system which gonna be starting working in your head, because it's not difficult from the technical side, because I play in terms of the hand stuff, I play singles and doubles and paradiddles, different variations. It's not a big deal. That's a big deal that I have to be able to think way in advance, because when I see, for example, this first like a dotted 8 and 16 notes rhythm, I have to watch this one, because during this 3-4 quarter notes, I have to figure out like where and how I want to play the accents and how I want to fill in the rest with different 16 notes to be able to play nice ensemble figures, right? Any other questions? Not yet. Okay. So this is basically the step 2. The step 3 is a kind of it's kind of similar. The difference is we can combine it with different fills, and we can use the orchestrations not only on the hi-hat and the snare drum and the kick drum, but we also can use the accents on the toms and the cymbals, which is rhythmically and technically quite the same level, but from the improvisation side, it's another step up because I have to be able to play the accent on the toms as well and the cymbals. And like this, I have to be able to create a complete drum part, which is supportive for the music that we play. So that was actually the idea from me why I asked him to mention these kind of things for me, because I haven't seen any drum books with this kind of method. Like how can I combine the improvisation with the strict material things? We have a lot of great drum books with a lot of exercises, patterns, orchestrating things, hand-foot combinations. But this is kind of rare when you meet a specific method just like this. So I'm so thankful for that, and I truly recommend you to do it. Actually, since then, I always combine the improvisation with my daily practice routine. So this is my daily routine, basically. Like when I sit behind the drum set and start to practice something, I always try to combine the strict things that we have to practice always. Like we have to practice the rudiments, we have to practice hand-foot combinations, independent stuff, but to make music, it's not enough. I mean, if you hear a music and if you work with, for example, a bass player or a keyboard player or guitar player, they don't care about your technical skills much. I mean, they don't interested in if you are able to play the double foot things in 200 BPM. They just wanna hear a nice groove over their stuff when they play a lick on a guitar or a keyboard on a bass. So this is much more important to be able to create a drum part which is very supportive for the music, which is part of the music, which brings all the rest of the parts up. So and this method helps a lot because you are constantly thinking about creating a nice groove or nice feels or nice drum solo using these accents. So this is very, very practical thing, because most of the times when you work with a band, you don't get a chart with which is written note by note, like this hi-hat part, this snare drum part, this kick drum part, because those charts were written by guitar players or keyboard players or trumpet players or singers, and they just mention the accent just like this, and they mention the structure of the song. They mention the repeat signs. They mention like if it's a soft part or a much heavier. When you have to play loud on the right cymbal or quiet with a cross stick and a hi-hat. But you have to be able to create a drum part. You have to be able to create music which helps these instruments a lot on the music. So that's why this is a great exercise, because when you practice it, you are always up to create a drum part which sounds great. And if it sounds great as a groove or as a drum fill variations or drum solo, the same will be working when you are in a band. So this is a great exercise, and it's very, very special. Okay, so let's jump down. That's gonna be the same page. I will play just like a first couple of lines, and I will combine it with some fill type of things on the toms, but I will play the same accents as it's written. So 1, 2, 3, 4. etc. Right? So this is more difficult. Also, I recommend you, if you start to practice these things, to start it in very slow tempo, because the brain has to be able to pick up the line, and we have to be able to create these things, because the things which I played now, these are not pre-composed things. If I want to play it next time, I would play totally different things. So the slow time practicing helps a lot always, because we have to speed up the brain as well, not only the hands and the feet, right? Okay. So the last part of this is about to play more fills, to play not only 16 notes, but to be able to play a whole, like a drum solo type of thing, using these accents. So this is when you are in a band and you have to play a drum solo, and the band plays certain accents, and you have to be able to play these accents out, but you have to play in between the accents different things as you feel. So that's going to be much more like a step 4, and step number 5 is about the feels and soloing. The first 3 steps is about how to create a groove and these kind of ensemble figures between the hi-hat, snare drum, and the kick drum. But now the 4th and the 5th one is about the feels and much more chops. So the last one is when I try to play a drum solo. Is like let me play it first and slower, like 1, 2, 3, 4. So there was like this, the whole page. I made actually 2 mistakes in the 5th and the 6th line, but I tried to make it. So this is a global method, which I recommend you to practice if you can keep these copies, because it's for me is a great legacy from Kim Plainfield. Any questions? No. Okay. Let me play a song for you, which I wrote actually for Kim. In the last couple of years, I spent many time to write and I'm into compose and arrange a whole album for a big band. And Kim's music and Kim's stuff made a big impact on me. As I said before, he also helped me a lot to compose and arrange. I recently shared my stuff with him, and sometimes he was criticizing me. Sometimes he said like this is good way, just follow this way. And I know very well the music that he liked very much. I also listened to this kind of music a lot from Brazilians, from Cuban musicians, from funk fusion players, from traditional jazz players as well. So that's why I wrote a song, which is in 4/4. It's a funk fusion song, and that was recorded in last summer with the Hungarian big band. It's called Modern Art Orchestra, and let me play this song for you. And the song called Kim. Thank you. So there was a song called Kim, and so I'm so appreciative to him, and I try to combine everything in this song, which I heard and learned from him. Hope he's listening to us now, and he likes my stuff. So there was the song called Kim. Any questions so far? Not yet. Okay, let me play one more tune for you, which is a bit different, but also, as I said, I'm absolutely influenced by him, and I learned him many things about the teaching as well. We had a great story. He invited me. I invited him to Hungary. There was, I think, in 2012 to do some drum clinics, and one of the clinics was for mostly beginners, maybe pre-intermediate level drummers, but mostly beginners, just like kids. So their age was like, I don't know, 14, 15, 13, between something like this. And he started to do the clinic in the first second to talk about the six-tuplet oriented inverted paradiddle accents in 3/4 time signature. And he started to demonstrate it, write down something to the board, started to explain the things, and I was watching the face of the kids, and they were asking each other like what's that? What's going on? I don't understand anything. And he explained twice, then and the third time and the fourth time, and asked, "Do you have some questions?" A lot of questions. He answered again. He demonstrated again. And after like 25 minutes, I had to realize that the guys started to pick up the lines, started to understand what's going on. And then they, after like 35 minutes, they understood everything about this kind of things. They were unable to play it for sure, but they got the method that he mentioned. So there was amazing moment for me, because I thought before, like, if you have a beginner student, you have to start with how to hold the sticks, to be able to play the 8 notes on the snare drum, maybe some accents. But this clinic totally changed my mind about the teaching, because it's not impossible if they hear the differences, and if you can drive through the guys in a different way, and you have patience enough, it's absolutely not impossible. So there was a great experience for me, and changed many things in my teaching method as well. So that's a great story from Hungary, because I've never thought before that the young kids will understand the six-tuplet or oriented paradiddle accents in 3/4. That was really for way advanced level drummers, but they were able to understand it. So that was great. Okay, so the next tune, it's called Illusion. This is another. I have a project called Loop Doctors. We combine the electronic music influences with the jazz improvisation. So it's also a special thing. Kim actually liked this stuff as well. I sent him a couple of CDs, because the band was founded in 2005, and then we met several times, and I always gave him CDs to check it out. He was very busy, but always saved some time to check the student stuff. That's also a great thing, I think. So it's called Illusion, this tune, which is basically the rhythm is a fast, like a drum and bass jungle stuff. There's a lot of a little improvisation, like a drum solo in the middle with different accents, some which also contains a little metrical modulation stuff. But I think it's fun, so hope you will enjoy it. Okay.
Take your time to look around my space. My chemical romance can be used.
Thank you. So there is a song called "Illusion," which combines some electronic music element grooves, like a jungle drum and bass. Any questions? If you have, be brave too. Okay. So this tunes, I played this this beat, which was like I always change the accents as well, but but it's like. Basically a 2-bar phrase. If you can clap with me the quarter notes, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2. Yeah, right. So as you can see, I changed the positions of the backbeat. So it's not only 2/4 backbeats on the snare drum, but I changed the accents between the kick drum and the snare drum. You know, the drum and bass and the jungle music is about this kind of things. Like they try. I mean, the DJs who started to use the previous drum beats from the late 60s and 70s, they put it to the computer and used different samples, different sound systems to speed it up or slow it down or change the pitch of the whole drum set. That's why it's sounding like a drum program or something when we speed it up for two times faster, for instance, or slow it down, and like this. I mean, if you check a whole back in the ways like late 60s and early 70s funk grooves from Clyde Stubblefield or Zigaboo Modalist, they play the same kind of things like. The differences between this stuff and the drum and bass jungle beats is the first is I play in this case much wider dynamic range. When we play electronic music, some electronic music elements in your music, you have to reduce the dynamic level because that kind of sound fits perfectly into this kind of electronic sounds. First, the second is like I played it like 2-3 times faster. If I play it faster, like. So this is quite the same groove, but I changed the dynamic level and I speed up the tempo at least 2 times faster, right? So I spent last couple of years listening to many this kind of it's a new path for me. It's interesting to see that the function of the drum set in this kind of music is totally different than in the other styles, like in funk or Afro-Cuban Brazilian jazz, pop music, rock music. This is totally different. So I have to be able to play very fast these kind of things. I have to be really care about the other stuff surrounding me, because if I'm too busy, that's going to be destroying the other things, because the tempo is fast and the things happening very quick in this tempo when you have to play like the song was in 195 BPM, so it's quite fast. Any questions? More? Not yet. Yes. Yeah.
So when you said I have to be aware of what's happening around me.
Would you mind asking into the microphone, please? Here you go.
So when you had mentioned that you have to be aware, cognizant of your surroundings when you're playing this method or this progression, what did you mean by that? Other instruments?
I mean, in this kind of music, if you combine the electronic music elements with acoustic instruments, that could be tricky because it looks like totally different approach, but it's not impossible to combine it. There are a lot of great musical projects using these kind of things, like using the electronic elements, the sounds from the electronic music, but combine it with the sound of the acoustic instruments, like some horns, like trumpet or saxophone, or vocal or acoustic drums or acoustic bass. But we have a totally different approach. A totally different function of this this kind of music, because mostly the drum and bass jungle music is happening in quite fast tempo. So if the other things, like if you use some computer programs like loops, arpeggios, and any pre-created, pre-recorded tracks from other instruments, you have to be extra careful of figuring out the drum part, because if I play a little bit like busier or less, it gives a huge effect in this fast tempo, right? Because that's going to be changing everything. If you do it in a quiet middle tempo, it's not a big deal. But if you do it in a fast tempo, there's going to be a problem. It's not a problem, but you have to be able to listen to the other things at the same time. Then you create a drum part. So that's why I mentioned, actually.
Understood. Thank you so much. Sorry, I had one more, and then.
Yeah, sure.
So you had mentioned, I just wanted to understand the correct terminology. This is a type of music that you were explaining the distinction between the tempo speeds. It's a type of music, or is it like a progression? How would it be defined?
I mean, this is a very important part of this kind of music. I mean, the drum and bass jungle music tempo starts from like 155, 160 BPM up until 200, 220, 30. The rest of the musical styles are from, I don't know, maybe when we play funk music, for instance, it started about in 65, 70 up until 130. If you play a fusion music, more progressive, like a hard edge fusion, it's up until 145, 150. But the drum and bass jungle music starts at that point. So that's why I said, like, if I play 16 notes in 120, it sounds like the 120 is quite like this tempo. So if I play a groove, it's like. The quarter notes like this, and if we split into four parts of the quarter notes, we have 16 notes, like 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E. And if I do it in much faster, we have to push, the notes in. So we have to be extra careful of the ear, because if we play the same notes in double tempo, that's going to be sounding a huge mess, because it's not impossible to analyze like what's going on in 220. If everyone plays 16 notes, sounds like very weird, sounds like very, very busy mess. If in this previous tempo in 120 all players play 16 notes, that sounds great. I mean, this is very good, because we have much more space in between the notes. That's why I mentioned, like, if we have a very fast tempo, we have to be extra careful of composing or creating a drum part, because we have to be listening to the others and try to play more when the other players play less. So it's just like a back and forth thing. Make sense? Okay.
Thank you.
Good. All right. Any other questions? No. No.
We have one question. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
We have one question in the live stream chat.
Okay.
They want to revisit that first piece of advice that Kim gave you, and if you could just remind them about it and maybe go into some more detail.
The very first backing track.
Just the first piece of advice.
The first piece of there was a song. It's called which is influenced by a 12/8 6/8 like an African bata rhythm. There was a song which I played the first time, which is the bata rhythm is in 12/8, like 1 2 3 5 2 3 3 2 3 4 2 3 1 2 3 2 2 3 3 2 3 4 2 3, and they put the accents usually the first two notes of the triplets or 8 notes, like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So this is quite the opposite when we play a simple shuffle. When we put the accent on the first and the third note of the triplet, like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. It sounds different, like this, right? So if I play a shuffle, it sounds like. So it sounds like ta 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 ta. But I played the groove during the first tune. That's a bata rhythm which is oriented by the first two accents, like. And when they play fills, they also try to put the accents to the first or a second note of the triplets. Like. So this is. So like this, it sounds totally different than a normal shuffle. So so this song is oriented by this kind of feel, except the B part, which is it's a 6/8 half-time oriented 6/8, which was like 1, 2, 3, 4. So I put the backbeats to the 3, like 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. This is which I play now. This is the sticking is a double paradiddle, like right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, left. Right. This is also one of the favorites of Kim. He used a lot this kind of things because it sounds like the accents are very similar than an Afro-Cuban bembe, like a right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, left. I just play the same part with the kick drum, which I play on the right hand. So like this, the right hand and the right foot with a unison, and I play the rest of the notes with the left hand. So this rhythm based is the basic of the B part of this tune, like. There are some accents there, which is like. So basically that's it. This is about the tune. Any other questions? No. Okay. Thank you very much to come here today, and also thanks very much for all the people who checked us online. That was a pleasure, and it's a huge honor to give a drum set clinic tribute to Kim Plainfield, because he was amazing. Person, a teacher, a friend, a drummer, a composer, educator, everything. So if you don't know him so far, I truly recommend you to check him out. He has many different albums, many festival gigs on YouTube, so you can find him. He made a beautiful, great music, and his legacy is huge. So thanks very much for all the things to Kim, and to you also to come out tonight. Thanks very much.